Night Shyamalan's studio, how that came about. After we had done Rough Nation with Pilcher Schustel, uh, I got a call from Ian Cross again, and he wanted to see if I wanted to go with him and the Pilcher Schustel guys to see this movie theater in Narberth uh, with Night Shyamalan. And I said, sure, I'll go. So I went over there. Night Shyamalan grew up in that area, and that was the movie theater that he used to go see movies at. So we get to the movie theater, we go in there, and Night's there, and we're looking around, and his idea is to take the theater and make it into a mix facility for him when he needs it, but when he doesn't need it, it would be a regular theater that they could rent out and play movies. But he wanted to take out a bunch of the seats in the middle of the place to put a console in. And when the console wasn't being used, have it covered up so it takes out all the seats. And, that was his idea. And the Pilcher Schustel guys were there about the design of the place. It was an old theater. So then we went out to lunch and we went to lunch and everybody's sitting around the table and Knight's asking, what do you think? It's a good idea. And everybody's yes, it's a great idea. And I'm the only one I go, I just don't see it. And he made everybody shut up and he said, why? And he just was looking at me. He said, why would you say that, George? And I said, the reason being is putting a $500,000 to $1 million console in the facility there, it could get damaged. What do you always happens at the theaters there? People spill their sodas and they have popcorn and all that. Also, you're taking a huge amount of seats out of there, so you don't make the money that you would make. And I said, either make a room to mix in or have a theater. It's not going to work both ways. And he agreed with me. He said, you know what, you're making a good point. The other guys didn't like it because Pilcher Schuster were going to get a design work, and Ian Cross, I don't think he really cared. So years later, what Knight did is he bought I think it was a 70-acre farm in Exton, and he made the bottom of the farmhouse, the barn, for the horses, and the top of it, and I'll put the picture so you can see. The top of it there's a theater for running film, or digital projectors, and another room for mixing. And we supplied all the gear. It went through Pilcher Schustel, but in the end, we installed everything and made everything work for him. So that's how the Night Shyamalan thing happened. It was funny because, I don't know, months later, I went over to the facility, and Knight is a really nice guy to talk to, very, very down to earth. I went into the mix thing and the room, and I could see, his sneakers, he was they were bouncing around. He was looking at something, and I went to walk towards him to say hello. And, like 4 guys stopped me and said, what are you doing? So we're going to go say hello to Knight. So no, you can't do that. And that's when I knew, I was dealing with egos there. It not Knights, but the people around him. So, but it ended up being very nice, and every action I had with him was very nice. I eventually got rid of a bunch of gear that he had. Oh yeah, I think I don't know if he dissolved the place or he just had a bunch of gear. The gear was really, really old. But I helped supply all the gear for a studio that he put together for his daughter. But that's my Night Shyamalan story, which is pretty interesting.